Now we come to the ocean, the hydrosphere, which involves the ocean but also the ice parts. Okay, so let's talk about the oceans. The average depth, about 4 kilometers, 3,800 meters is the average depth. So if your neighbor comes, knocks on your door and asks you, oh, what's the depth of the ocean? It's 4,000 meters. Quite deep, 4,000 meters. Well, why is it so deep? Why is it relevant? Maybe you can already get an idea of that light penetrates only as deep as 50 meters or so. That below that it's dark. So the large proportion of the water columns actually doesn't receive much light at all. No light. Okay, the water coverage on Earth is about 70%, 71%. So it's more than 2/3 of the Earth is covered by oceans. So the interactions between the atmosphere and the ocean determines the climate on Earth, because the ocean just occupies such a big space, big surface area on Earth. And for example, if you look from space and you're just sitting over the Pacific Ocean, you can see that on that image here. You almost see only ocean, and that's why the Earth is also known as the blue planet. Okay, in terms of the components, the composition by mass, you can see that oxygen has the biggest percentage, biggest contribution, 85%, followed by hydrogen, 10% or sort of 11%, and then some other components. Okay, some other components which are mostly salts. Okay, so if you look at the composition of seawater, it's actually 96.5%. It's almost all is fresh water. Okay, so fresh water makes up most of the seawater, plus you have 3.5% of salt content. Okay, and this is what we call salinity, the salt concentration per unit of mass. Okay, 35 grams per kilogram is sort of the average salt concentration in the ocean. Where the salt comes from is it comes from the continental runoff. That's over time leads to the accumulation of salt, or the dissolution of salts in the ocean. So now other important components are so-called nutrients or dissolved nutrients in the ocean. Okay, there are certain chemical compounds critical for the creation of marine life. Now what it means is if you don't have enough, you don't create marine life. And they consist of nitrogen, phosphorus, silicon, and iron are the main components. Okay, iron is only a micro component. You only need a little bit, but without iron you don't get any production of marine plants. So what we call nutrient limitation is if one of these components is missing, which limits the production of marine plants in the ocean. It's known as nutrient limitation. One major example is the Southern Ocean. There's plenty of nitrogen and phosphorus and all that stuff in the ocean, but little iron. There is an iron limitation, and hence you have a relatively small production of phytoplankton in this region.